Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dominic Cheverati, and today I'm going to talk to you about why Wisconsin is better than your state. And I think I have some leeway to speak on this. I grew up in Wisconsin. I lived on the East Coast for 2 years. I've been in California since January 2012, and I've traveled a lot in the meantime, and I've visited 38 states. So I've got a pretty good grasp of the country as a whole. I could probably give you 1,000 reasons why Wisconsin is better than your state, but today I'm limited from 5 to 7 minutes, so I will only give you 5 reasons. And for those of you who grew up in a cave, that's where Wisconsin is. It's in the Midwest, in the north, over there. The number one reason why Wisconsin is the best state is because of the Green Bay Packers, of which I'm a pretty big fan, so bear with me here for a second. Hopefully this doesn't distract you too much, but I'm a pretty big cheesehead, so. The Packers are the most successful NFL franchise. They've got 13 world championships, more than any other team. Only 4 Super Bowls. I think you're a Steelers fan, I think you have more Super Bowls than us, but we've got more world championships than any other team. We also have one of the oldest teams, the oldest NFL team still in the same city in which it started. The Packers have been in Green Bay since 1919, so a lot of history. The top right there, you see Aaron Rodgers, who was the NFL MVP last year. No big deal. But he's doing the Lambeau Leap there. The stands are pretty low at Lambeau, so the Packers are known to jump in the stands after they score a touchdown. The field at which the Packers play, Lambeau Field, is the oldest NFL stadium that's still officially operating as an NFL stadium. It's been operating since 1965. The bottom left here, you see a Packers stock. The Packers are actually the only professional American sports team that's owned by the fans. We don't have a ritzy owner like Robert Kraft of the Patriots. It's actually the fans. Every 5 to 10 years, the Packers organization puts out the ability for Packers fans to buy one part of the stock. So for about $500, you can become part of an NFL owner. If you ever go to a game, you see or watch the Packers play, people always wear shirts, "I'm a proud NFL owner," because they kind of are. They only spend $500, not $1 billion, but technically they're still an owner. The bottom right there, does anybody know who that is?
Vince Lombardi.
Vince Lombardi. He's the only NFL coach to have won 3 consecutive championships, and the NFL championship trophy is named after him, the Lombardi Trophy. So a pretty glorious franchise here, you might say. Number 2 is food. I will admit, in Wisconsin, we don't really do the fitness thing as much as that, but we do the food thing pretty well. In the top left there, you see cheese curds, which is just deep fried cheese. Not very creative, but delicious. And then we have cream puffs. Didn't start in Wisconsin, but it's one of the biggest sellers of cream puffs in the whole world. At the Wisconsin State Fair, they sell 40,000 of those a day. The bottom left, you'll see brats. Johnsonville Brats, which started as a small company in Wisconsin, now sells bratwurst all over the world. You can actually buy them at Safeway in California, right down the street from you. And the bottom right, we have custard. In Wisconsin, ice cream wasn't fattening enough for us, so we had to put more eggs and butterfat in there, and we have custard, which is a big tradition in Milwaukee. There's a small place called Leon's in Milwaukee that 3 U.S. presidents have eaten at because it claims to have the world's best custard, and I think it does. Now on to beer. Our Major League Baseball team is actually called the Brewers, which is pretty funny, but it's because of the rich traditions of beer brewing in Wisconsin. Miller, as you can see here, I'm sure a lot of you, I've thrown a few of those back in my day, but Miller started brewing in Wisconsin in 1855, and Milwaukee was only founded in 1846. So it only took 9 years from the actual founding of the city to start going into brewing beer, which says a lot about us. I don't know if it's good or bad. But. And in the middle, you'll see Schlitz beer there. That was the number one selling beer in the world for almost 20 years. It's if you ever saw Laverne and Shirley, it's kind of a throwback. It wasn't really on that much when I was a kid, but they took place at Schatz Brewery, which is filmed at the Schlitz Brewery, modeled after Schlitz Brewery in Milwaukee. And for those of you who are hipsters or have kids or grandkids that are hipsters, those 2 beers on the right, big in Portland and Seattle and trendy areas. Pretty garbage beers in my opinion, but it's fun. So we do have a lot of beer there, I will admit that. But to burn off all those calories, we also have a wide assortment of activities. Actually, the only 2 months it hasn't snowed in Wisconsin has been July and August. This year's been pretty mild, but last year was pretty rough. We had snow during 9 of the months of the year. So you can ski, and probably within a few days you can water ski, which is pretty interesting. In the bottom left there, we have a pretty big tradition of covertly sneaking through the woods and hunting deer. And this isn't like the little deer you see in Pacific Grove. They're like the size of a dog. This is like a 300-pound whitetail. And it's such a big tradition in Wisconsin to deer hunt that we had over 600,000 deer hunters in Wisconsin this last year, which makes us the 8th largest army in the world. There's actually more people hunted in Wisconsin this year than the armies of France and Germany combined. So that's a little fun fact for you. In the bottom right, we also have a lot of beautiful freshwater fishing places in Wisconsin. If any of you have ever been to Minnesota or seen the license plates, it says the land of 10,000 lakes. Well, Wisconsin has over 15,000 lakes, so booyah, Minnesota. Now the people, I will say in the top left there, this is the epitome of a Wisconsinite right there. That's pretty much us. Big Packers fans, we like to eat, and we don't do the fitness as much, but we do cheer on our Packers pretty intensely. And I will say, it's Packers fans a lot of times go shirtless even in January when it's really cold, so I don't know if that's trying to burn off extra calories from all the food we eat. And in the top right, you see Kurtwood Smith, was in RoboCop, and if you ever saw that 70s show which took place in Wisconsin, he was Red, the old guy that was bitter about everything except the Packers. And on the bottom left, Gene Wilder, one of the better comedians of the 20th century. He's from Wisconsin, proud Packers fan. And bottom right, you have Chris Farley, who went to Marquette University in Milwaukee, where I got my bachelor's degree. Huge Packers fan, big Wisconsinite, and as you can see, it kind of shows with his, I guess, weight. Big Packers fan. So in summary, we have a glorious football franchise. We've got some scrumptious foods, delectable beers, a wide range of activities, and some pretty humorous people. So if that's not enough reasons for you to think that Wisconsin is better than your state, then we can have a chat outside after this.